Yo. What's goody, people? How you doing? I think I want to sleep. Bro, don't judge me. I got Drake songs fucking stuck in my head. I was bumping Drake a lot at work today. Just got home from work, so you guys are gonna see me drink some burr while I do this stream, y'all. What's good, y'all? Happy Friday. TGIF, I believe is the slang term the kids like to use nowadays. Salute. How y'all doing today? Your boy back to talk some politics. I'm ready to do the damn thing, you heard? I feel like it's not a lot going on in the world of politics. That was clearly a joke, guys. I feel like some of you wouldn't have got it. Huh. It's going to be a little short stream, though, because unfortunately, your boy, I usually work Monday through Friday, but I have an overtime shift tomorrow, so I had to get up early. So I'm going to try and keep it to like an hour. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm hoping to do like a super long stream, like 3 hours. So because I want to cover a lot of the stuff that I missed, even like smaller stories. Like there's been a couple stories that as we got to the end of previous streams, I got tired. Honestly, I get tired doing a stream sometimes, guys. I don't know why. Like I work a physical job, and I literally sometimes get more tired doing the stream than at work sometimes. But it's still fun. That must mean I'm having fun, man, because having fun can be tiring sometimes. But yeah. I'm gonna try and do a super pack live stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try and go for like 3 hours, maybe 4. We'll see. We'll see how my butt feels. A lot of the time it's because my chair is uncomfortable, so I just have to get up. So I may do something like take a couple breaks and everything like that. Go to like a 5-minute break or something after like 3 or 4 segments. So but yeah, so planning on having a super jam-packed live stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try and do it at like noon, like 1 or 2 Eastern Standard Time. So look out for that tomorrow. It's gonna be a stream tomorrow. I'm gonna get something posted so you guys can see it and everything. But yeah. So as you saw in the title, we're here to talk about the abortion stuff that's going on. Yeah, I know. I really don't want to talk about this, but I think it's important to talk about it, especially from from an alternative perspective, because I feel like I and many other independent media folk that I've heard, like I've heard Caleb Maupin talk about this. I've heard Haas from Infrared talk about this. Even like and a couple other people. I'm not going to keep going down the list of people, but everybody has their opinions on it, has their opinion on this issue. And here I am adding mine in, but opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. If you don't, that'll be kind of weird. Yeah. Awkward pause. I did that on purpose. But so yeah, we're gonna talk about that. What else is on the docket? What else is on the docket today, guys? I actually added in a story because I just saw it on Twitter. Cat, I know y'all saw that Cats and Karen Anna freak out the other day. So we're gonna talk about that too. I opened my phone to see what was on the docket. I actually have a Caleb Maupin video queued up that I want us to watch. He did a video about Satanism, but it was part of the video I wanted to watch specifically that I found interesting. So we're gonna watch that together. Am I gonna do that? I might play this Zelensky versus now versus then video. So I think you guys have probably seen that as well. And I want to round it out with this interesting article I found actually just now, right before I started the show, about abortion, going along with abortion with Elon Musk. So, but yeah, I may actually move that up in the show because I have that as last. I may do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that story second. So there's an interesting Elon Musk video that I want to do because I wanted to talk about Elon anyway, because like, you know, it's me. I'm gonna shit on Elon Musk some more. I think J. Cole had this line like, if you broke and hating a billionaire, the joke is on you. I guess the joke's on me because I'm broke and I hate billionaires. So um we're going to talk about that story as well. So I guess, it's not going to be a lot of like me showing clips and everything. It's just going to be me talking a lot. Did I have it? And then we're going to read through the Business Insider article I was talking about with Elon. It's not that long though. So yeah, get ready to hear me talk a lot, guys. All right. So my thoughts on abortion. What is my stance on abortion? I am pro-choice. I don't think the government, I don't think any other person should be telling an individual woman what to do with her body. I think that should go without saying. I know everybody has their position, and I respect people that are pro-life. I understand, why you feel that way, even if it's for religious reasons, because everybody that's not pro-choice are religious people. That's one of the things I feel like, like misconceptions I think everybody has. The people that are pushing the policies, are they religious? Maybe. I don't even think a lot of these politicians are really religious like that. Like, did y'all niggas actually believe Trump was religious? Like, yo, y'all really bought that, bro? Like, you don't understand the power dynamics. Like, of course, the church is going to welcome Donald Trump in and allow him to use the whole church thing as long as he, you know, adheres to what they wanted to do. And clearly he did, because look at what was happening. They're probably about to repeal Roe v. Wade. So, or strike it down, whatever the legal terminology for it is. So it was a good investment. They said, look, we're gonna take this dude in. We're gonna let him see what he do. If he do the do, we're gonna rock with it. And look, hey, kudos, congratulations, church. Oh, they did it. They took a good gamble. But even, regular, I don't believe a lot of these people are actually religious like that. So that's just me. I'm a cynical fuck. I think people can say whatever they want to say, but behind closed doors, these motherfuckers, like, we already know a lot of them are pedophiles behind closed doors. So like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying all the religious stuff from a lot of these people. The loudest ones are usually the most like fucking heathenistic people anyway. So, but yeah, so that's my stance on it. Like I said, I'm pro-choice, but I respect other people's, beliefs if they're pro-life and things like that, whatever. But just me, I think it should be pro-choice. But I also think they're doing this. I think they're doing this for a multitude of reasons. So I was talking to a couple coworkers about this. Well, not a couple, literally my coworkers, because they're like two people. There's only two of us there. Shout out if you're watching this. But I was talking to them about this because I've had multiple theories about this. So I'll just go through my first theory. I don't feel like it's concrete. I think you could poke holes in it. It's like a Marvel Cinematic Universe theory. You feel me? Like, oh, like, it's like everybody that comes out with a theory about the MCU, like, it's so easy to poke holes in that shit. Because I feel like everybody just goes so extravagant when it's usually like Marvel is usually simple when it comes to their movies. Like, so, but regardless, I just went on a weird tangent there randomly about the MCU. But you may be able to poke holes in this. I don't know. But here's my theory. So you have the Biden administration, establishing this Ministry of Truth that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. You have them establishing this Ministry of Truth. Prior to that, obviously, we've had the big tech censorship going on for a while. Now you have the whole Elon Musk thing going on as well. Prior, obviously January 6th happened. That happened. But then after that happened, Biden's DHS were pushing these, new definitions of what political extremists are that are very vague. I think, like, even if you're like a person that like questions or are against like vaccines or spread vaccine disinformation and shit like that, I think that's the wording they used. Like, they consider you like a political extremist and shit. So pushing these new like anti-domestic terrorism laws and shit like that. Then you have people like Steve Hassan, and I actually learned about Steve Hassan from Caleb Maupin, so shouts out to him. If anybody that from his channel, I know I got a couple of subscribers from people that watch his channel. I watch his channel a lot. I love Caleb. Caleb's fucking amazing. I'm trying to get him on the show. If anybody watches his show and comment, tell him, I'm trying to get him on the show, man. Trying to. We're gonna work it out though. We're gonna get it worked out because I love Caleb. Caleb is amazing. But yeah. So Caleb did a video or a live stream a while ago about Steve Hassan and about it was in conjunction with Clarence Thomas's wife. I think her name's like Jeannie Thomas or something like that. So they're basically trying to say that Jeannie Thomas is Clarence Thomas's wife. She used to be in a cult. I forget what the cult. Hang on one second. Let me look this up. Jenny Thomas. I think it's Jenny actually, not Jeannie. It might be Jenny, whatever the fuck her name is. Jenny Thomas cult. Oh yeah, they even had the guy's name in here. They even they have the guy. So let's go. Actually, you know what? Let's read this. Let's read through this article. Let's read through this article because I think this will be something good to read through. This is just a random article I found online. So, how do you do this? Oh, here we go. You already know. I'm still trying to get used to doing this crap. Doing this crap. Give me 1 second. Share screen, Chrome tab. Yeah, let's do this. So this is a Yahoo article. And someone is unduly influencing Jenny Thomas. Expert says wife of Supreme Court Justice is part of Trump cult. As former Mooney turned cult expert Stephen Hassan, so that'll be interesting. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But watch the Capitol riots unfolding last January. There was a familiar face among the thousands of MAGA supporters clamoring to overturn the 2020 election result. Hyung's Jin Sean Moon, head of the far-right AR-15 worshiping of Iron Ministries and son of Mooney founder Soon Myung Moon, had joined Proud Boy and Oath Keepers to protest in front of the U.S. Capitol. The group has been widely described as a cult. So give me 1 second, because I'm drawing. I forget where the cult she was in was called. Hang on. Like the Life Spring cult. So she was in this thing called the Life Spring cult. I've never heard of it. I might do more reading about it, but it doesn't have extreme bearing on this except for the fact that she was in a cult, basically. This guy, a former Mooney turned cult expert, Steve Hassan, was the guy that deprogrammed her from that cult. So Stephen Hassan, whose techniques have been widely questioned about how he does this. Like it basically in a sense. And I actually just ordered the book where they talk about this guy. Caleb Maupin was showing a couple of books in his stream, but I might actually play that tomorrow because I'm not trying to. I have to go through his stream and everything to try and find when he was talking about it. But I'll try and find it like tomorrow sometime and queue it up as like a segment tomorrow so I can show you guys. But long story short, this guy may have intelligence ties. I don't even think I think he actually does, and he communicates and he gives mentorship to a lot of bread tubers, to a couple bread tubers. But I think what's more important is this guy's intelligence community connections, possible intelligence community connections, and also the fact that now MSNBC is bringing him on during a time where basically they're trying to say Trumpers are fucking domestic terrorists and shit because of January 6th. And then you have this title. Someone is unduly influencing Jenny Thomas. Expert says wife of Supreme Court Justice is part of Trump cult. So they're trying to say that Trumpism is a cult and all this bullshit. And yeah. So I find it very interesting that they're doing all this, in line with the Supreme Court stuff happening. And this is like I said, this is post January 6th. Now I haven't seen how if there's been like large protests in DC, but as they're trying to basically clamp down on civil liberties, you have one side, which is the pro-choice side, that's out there protesting. What normally happens when one group of people go out and protest, people on the opposite ideological side, um, of that debate go out and counter protest. Now, we know how they like to manufacture consent for the stifling of civil liberties with things like the Black Lives Matter protests. Like, basically, like, they went out there, did all that marching and protesting, and nothing happened but getting more funding for police. And also with January 6th to push the things that I talked about earlier, like the DHS's new domestic terrorist laws, and the Ministry of Truth for disinformation and all that, which is more tied to Ukraine, but also to the vaccine stuff as well. And all the other stuff I talked about previously. In my mind, my cynical brain, I'm thinking they're trying to manufacture some event to happen to basically clamp down on civil liberties even more, to actually like go full balls to the wall with a lot of those new policies they were talking about. That was one of the theories that I kicked to my coworkers. Then I sat and thought about it again. And obviously this is the first thing that popped in my brain, but this is something for Democrats to run on. Obviously, like, it's easy. The Democrats, they're flailing when it comes to the Ukraine narrative. I'm definitely going to be doing more Ukraine tomorrow as well. They're flailing with that narrative. They're egging on World War III. Basically, they look crazy. The Biden administration, they're just failing on everything. Biden couldn't get through his Build Back Better. Kamala Harris is fucking trash. Like, Jen Psaki's jumping ship. All these people are jumping ship, basically. Like, Biden is flailing. He's crashing and burning. So obviously, and the Democrats as the party as a whole is crashing and burning. They're going to get their asses handed to. We're going to get their asses handed to them in the midterms. With this going on, I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was previously. It's still going to be pretty bad, but I don't think it was going to be as bad as it was previously, because you're going to have a lot of people that would have potentially stayed home or even thought about flipping, due to the economic, things with inflation as well and all this other stuff going on. Now, a lot of them that are more liberal minded are thinking like, oh, well, they're trying to take, basically, the rile voters up to get them out the vote for Democrats. So I think it's still going to be a bloodbath, but it's not going to be as bad as it was before, prior to this happening. But then I sat and thought about it. This is something else. This is something for Republicans to run on as well, to say that we're going to fight for this and continue to fight to make sure it's that, whatever, all that nonsense. And then a fourth thing popped in my mind, or fifth. I can't count. Failed math a lot in school. I think fourth. But then I had a fourth idea. I feel like they're giving red states something. I feel like they're giving like the conservative parts of the country something. And what I mean by that is, you have like, they don't like the conservative, even though they had Trump in office, then they took that away from them. Like, something tangible, like an actual policy that they can give back to conservative states to make them feel part of this political game again. I feel like Democrats had theirs, but now I feel like this is conservatives and Republicans giving their base something tangible to look at, to see, hey, we did this, look, and to put it out there, something to give to the red states. And and when you think about it in that context, it makes a lot more sense in tandem with the previous two, but not the first one where I'm talking about they're trying to manufacture some type of like riot or political violence in the street so they can clamp down on civil liberties. Makes more sense than that, honestly, because they want people right now, as all this inflation happens, they want to push people further into their political corners, into their political ideologies, to keep people further divided from coalescing and from organizing together across class, organizing together as the working class across ideological lines. That's the last thing they want to happen, which is why they're throwing out things out there like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp to distract and divide people, which is why they're throwing out things like Roe v. Wade, to divide and distract people, which is why they're throwing out all the Elon Musk, all of these things. And a lot of people take their eyes off of the ball. Even some people I like are taking their eye off the ball, in my opinion, to own the libs, or on the other side to own the maggots, as they like to call Trump supporters, and the right wingers, because they like to call leftists like Jimmy Dore, Jackson Hinkle, Hazmi, Caleb, people, they like to call us right wingers. But there are some people I think that took their eye off the ball. Honestly, they took their eye off the prize, and there is a lot of people I think that are social media influencers now at this point. They're not like, they're more entertainment than infotainment, in my personal opinion. I'm not going to sit up here and name names because I don't hate these people. I don't have beef with these people, but I understand I need to view them through a different context and light now. You know who talked about this a lot? Franco talked about this a lot. Frank Anella. He came on the show a while back. Shouts out to Franco. I realized that a lot of people that do this thing, like me, like, I feel like they're more entertainment. They're trying to chase clout, and that's a pity because I think a lot of these people um has to have the potential to actually, educate and lead people in the right direction instead of leading them astray, in my opinion. Then you have people that, you know just hate liberals now, and like, just completely no thought process. If it's a liberal thing, anything, fuck it, I hate it. And it's like, sure, fine, but like that, I like the Elon Musk situation is really what brought me to that conclusion, because it's like, I don't like liberals either. I fucking hate liberals too, but you're not going to catch me out here slobbing Elon Musk because he hates liberals too. That's just not going to happen. Honestly, I'm sorry. Like, he's part of the problem that we're fighting. Like, you really honestly think he's going to be any better than Mark Zuckerberg? You think he's going to be any better than Jack Dorsey? You think he's going to be any better than Jeff Bezos? You think he's going to be any better than any of these fucking people? No, he's not. And I know people are having debates now about his past and his history and things like that. It doesn't matter, because if you understand how power works, you know that Elon Musk owning the town square is not a good thing. If you truly understand how power works. And it's also showed me that a lot of conservative and libertarian types, honestly, like, just have this very, and not, and look, I'll organize with libertarians on civil liberties issues if we agree on things economically. I'll organize with them on that as well. But a lot of the, like, I have a libertarian friend. I was talking to him, and a lot of the libertarian, people people who have that ideology, they're just like they have a very childish view of power and how it works, honestly. And it's very weird because they're always telling communists and Marxists and socialists and leftists that they have a childish view of power, when it's like, no, y'all do. And it's like, and I'm not saying that to disparage them, to shit on. I'm not here to shit on the righties or anything like that. But it's like, bro, like, he's buying Twitter for a reason. He's not buying Twitter to save your free speech. And sure, you may like because they think private ownership is better than it being, control of the government, whatever, what the fuck ever. I don't know. But it's like, the government's not inherently bad because the government bad. You feel me? Like, the government doesn't do bad things just because, hey, we want to, because we're the government and we're bad. It's almost like painting a card. It's like how they're how they paint Putin in Russia. Like, nobody in Putin has any type of, or nobody in Russia. See, I just called Russia Putin. Nobody in Russia has any fucking power. There's no politics there. The Communist Party, which is the second largest party in Russia, doesn't exist. It's all Putin. Putin's Hitler. Anybody they don't like at the time is fucking Hitler. They called Saddam Hussein Hitler. They called Gaddafi Hitler. They called Xi Jinping Hitler. They've called all of these Assad. They called him Hitler. Anybody they don't like at the fucking time, they call Hitler. It's so fucking ridiculous. But that cartoonish painting, that cartoonish depiction on how the mainstream media and how the United States government, how the paintbrush they use to paint Putin, that's literally how libertarians paint the government. It's so weird, honestly, because it's like, you guys are almost at, like, you're right there at the target, and it's like just off. And I'm not saying that because they disagree with me. I'm saying that because it's something that's clearly obvious. Like, the government is acting on behalf. It's a symbiotic relationship. You feel me? It's like the fucking mob. It's like literally, if you've seen The Irishman, it's like the mob with Jimmy Hoffa. Literally, it's that situation with Al Pacino and shit. My favorite scene in that movie is when him and the bull started fighting because he showed up late and came in shorts. He said, "You show up late. You come in your fucking shorts. You don't wear a suit." That was Al Pacino. Al Pacino, man. When he wants to give him and De Niro, when they want to give amazing performances, they will. But I'm saying this because it really, like, it's so crazy to see, because it's like, y'all don't see that, y'all don't see it. And I'm not saying this because I lean more left. and I'm leaning more into communism and Marxism. I'm saying that because it's obvious. If I wasn't into that shit before I even identified as a socialist or 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 a leftist, like I always knew, hey, the government acts on behalf of billionaires. It's obvious. And their idea that privatization, basically putting all the power in their hands, is a good thing just because it's private. That's complete. That's so asinine, bro. I cannot explain. Now, I would like to talk to more libertarians, honestly, to see if because I can see an argument where you're saying like private businesses in the form of like small businesses and shit, like break up a lot of these companies, and so small businesses can flourish. I can see that. Or there's on some merits, I would still disagree with that because I do feel that important sectors of the economy and the important things that's needed for society to function, I wholeheartedly believe should be put into the powers of the hands of the people. It should be public, nationalized, whatever fucking word you want to use for it. But I also get, although that's my belief, the government we have now, you can't trust them to run that shit. And I wholeheartedly agree with that because again, it's just going to be the monopolistic powers, the billionaires, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, working through the government like they're doing now. Literally, what they're doing now. So that's my opinion on that. And like I said, I want to talk to more libertarians because I've only talked to a few, but just the concepts they have of power it's so immature. Honestly, it really is immature, and it makes me it's crazy. I feel like I'm in La La Land because like y'all tell me I'm the crazy one when the shit you just said out your mouth just doesn't make sense. Even if I was apolitical, if I wasn't subscribed to an ideology, I would be like, huh, really? You really believe that? Like all the shit that's going on in the American economy all these years, and you really believe that? You think the government's just bad because the government's just they're bad guys? And on some extent they're right because people are easily corruptible. That's that they're not wrong about that. But you want to put all the power in the hands of the most corruptible people, the people like that some would say are evil. I don't know about that, bro. So I don't know, man. And I know this went down a weird, strange rabbit hole, but this is where a lot of these thoughts have taken me. Honestly, a lot of with the abortion conversation, because like one of my libertarian friends on Facebook, he was oh my god, fucking whooping ass when it came to the abortion issue, whooping us conservatives ass. Like not, I'm not saying literally, like they were having a debate and he was wiping the floor with this guy, bro. I was like, yo, he's killing him right now. Because I haven't really been engaging with these debates online. Honestly, with just rando people. I honestly been talking to Matt about it. My Matt who comes on the show sometimes. I'm trying to do something with him Sunday. I'm gonna try to get something set up Sunday. I might live stream on here Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. But me and him have been talking about it a lot. And I guess I'll just segue into how I feel about overall, like, and look, at the top of this video I said I'm pro-choice. I am pro-choice, and I feel like what I'm saying doesn't contradict that. I feel like as leftist, if you identify as a socialist, if you identify as a Marxist, if you identify as a communist, if you identify anything on the left, and this is not for the liberals because liberals are not leftist. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but liberals are not leftist. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm about to hang on. I'll be right back. I got to. All right, I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. Where was I? All right, yeah, back to it. So liberals are not leftist, as I said, but if you identify on anything on the left, Marxist, communist, whatever, all of those labels, it's a lot of shit. I'm learning about it now. It's a lot of shit. If you believe in any of that, I feel that you're we should not we shouldn't even be engaging in this debate, honestly. Same thing with the Elon situation. Oh, yay, cool. Another billionaire buys something else. Cool. Okay. Because we know what's up. You feel me? I feel like Convo Couch did amazing commentary on this. It was few of them. Nico House, every MCSC. A lot of them did a lot of amazing coverage on this. RBN, the Revolutionary Blackout Network, did a lot of has some good perspectives on this as well. But I just saw a lot of people, man. A lot of people just to own the libs. Just to own the libs, man. We're not giving the full scope, the full reality of this situation with Elon Musk. And now, again, although it's fun to make fun of liberals with this abortion thing, and not because a woman, women are getting their rights taken away. Obviously, that's not a good thing, but to see them melt down upon their own doing, to see this happening because of their own bullshit, it's funny. It's tempting to delve into that. But right now, we should be, as leftists, especially, if you identify with any of that shit, we shouldn't be picking a side on this. We shouldn't be tailing behind the fucking Democrats and the liberals, like a couple people out there are saying. And we shouldn't, and even if you're pro life, this is not the important conversation right now. Honestly, it's not. And I'm not saying that rights being taken away it's a very touchy subject, which is why this should not be the conversation that we're having. We should be doubling down now talking about economics. We should be doubling down talking about shit like healthcare. We should be talking about the economic liberation of women so they can actually be pro-choice. We should also be acknowledging the reality that the lower income you are, statistically, the lower income you are, the more against abortion you are. A lot of black people do not fuck with abortion. So I keep trying to tell a lot of my white liberal friends. A lot of black people don't fuck with abortion, bro, because they've seen how America has economically, the American government has economically, and the elite class and the fucking oligarchs have economically destroyed our communities, the black communities, and how that's forced women to get abortions because they can't afford it. And that's the argument I hear people saying all the time. Oh, well, most women get it because they can't afford it. Da, da, da. Well, why are we not, as leftists and socialists, talking about that? Talking about the economic liberation of women so they can actually have a choice. I feel like that's something that people aren't talking about. Especially leftists. We're tailing behind. And I think that's like a Marxist, a Leninist term as well. You don't want to tail behind somebody else's move. You don't want to be a follower, basically. We're following behind the Democrats right now. Well, not me, because I'm not, but a lot of y'all are following behind the Democrats right now on this issue. Are falling behind the liberals on this issue. The most reactionary liberals. Yet they like to use the word reactionary when it comes to right wingers. Liberals and even leftists, progressives are fucking reactionaries too. We're going to talk about it. You saw fucking Anna Kasparian losing her fucking mind. Then coming back today I was talking about Republicans. I guess AOC's a Republican now, huh? We're going to get to that though. But why are we not talking about that? We're not talking, we need to, that's the messaging we should be doubling down on right now. We should be doubling down on Medicare for all. We should be doubling down on student loan debt. I think women hold the most student loan debt, and especially poor black women. We should be talking about that shit. But we're falling in line behind liberals arguing about that. Arguing their bullshit, basically, for them. You have people like Brian Becker out there talking about abolish this. Shut the fuck up, bro. And I like Brian Becker. I like him. I like his show. But unfortunately, he tends to toe the Democratic Party line, and that sucks to see. Again, especially from somebody, I watch a lot of his stuff. I forget what his podcast is called, but it's on what are they called? Ronnie Calix on there. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the channel. I forget what the channel's called. But they told this line. They told the line. I'm trying to, I thought I heard something. But they told this line when it came to the truckers. You know, the worker uprising in Canada. They told it right along with the Democratic Party, calling them Nazis and shit. You saw a lot of them doing that. So, and this honestly, this is why I've been rocking with Caleb Maupin a lot recently, because he's echoing the same thing I am. Because this is what I've been saying to my homie Matt, bro. Why are we not talking about the economic liberation of women? I think House was talking about this too. Why are we not talking about that shit? And Caleb Maupin made this point on his stream like last night. I think he was talking about this. He was saying like leftist, communist, Marxist. So like I said, all that, I'm just going to say leftist. I know that term has been slandered, but for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to say leftist. He was talking about how we always attach ourselves to the most negative things that working class people fucking can't stand. We attach ourselves to wokeness. Now, I like to say this to say this along when I bring up wokeness. Woke has been a term taken by liberal white people and turned into a bad thing. Being woke used to be in the black community, where that word came from, used to be a good thing. White people took it and ruined it. Liberal white people took it and ruined it. I like to say that. I like to preface whenever I talk about wokeness by saying that, because being woke, it's also, it also invokes the Matrix as well. Awakening from the Matrix, being woke from the Matrix. Woke isn't a bad thing. Liberal white people took woke and made it what it is now, and then Republicans branded it as woke, and now you have woke what it is now, wokeness what it is now. But all that woke bullshit that they're doing, that they're doubling down on, now abortion, now drugs. We attach ourselves. The only drug I would say we should attach ourselves to is marijuana. Everybody in this country smokes weed, bro. Everybody I come in contact with in my everyday life, no matter the age, race, whatever, smokes weed. I would say about 75% of the people I come in contact, I'm saying every day, 75% of the people I come in contact with every day smoke weed. I think marijuana is one of the few drugs like we should be screaming loud about, like legalizing marijuana. But regardless, we attach ourselves to a lot of shit that people up from the working class don't fucking like, and wonder why people don't like leftists. It blows my mind that leftists can't see this. Again, these are thoughts and ideas I was saying and having, like, prior. It's like, it's basic shit. The reason why Republicans, like, you see so many people turning to the Republican Party now, especially minorities, you see them turning to the Republican Party because they're speaking of things that the United States government stripped from black people, especially, but also other minorities as well. The concept of family value shit, the family values bullshit that the Republicans push, knowing damn well that their fucking policies, their economic policies is what created the circumstances we're in. But they the only niggas talking about it. Because y'all niggas going out voting for Democrats, aligning yourselves with AOC, and standing out there with the pink-haired crazy people screaming about abortions and legalizing heroin. Oh, y'all look crazy, bro. Oh. So, and I get it. That's not me saying, again, I'm pro-choice. I'm for women to have the right to abortion. But you have to see, if you really want to bring communism, socialism, all this shit that motherfuckers talk about to America, a lot of, I would say 80% of which I agree with. If you want to bring that to America, you have to look at first you have to understand the brainwashing that has taken place since during the Cold War. I would say forever in America, when communism really started to get popular, because you also had that Red Scare in the early 19th century as well, or the 20th century. I'm sorry about that. The 20th century. So you have to understand, like, read the room, bro. Read the room. Like, understand your surroundings. So I just wanted to give my my closing thoughts on abortion, and then just kind of segue into this Elon article too, because that brings me here. So although and again, I'm pro-choice. I'm pro legalizing. You already know I'm pro legalizing all drugs. I think all drugs should be legal. The government shouldn't be telling you what you should and shouldn't be putting in your body. I agree with that. I'm not. That's not me saying that. But when we're trying to get messaging out there to people, like we shouldn't be leading with that. We should be leading with Medicare for all. We should be we should be leading with student loan debt forgiveness. We should be leading with nationalizing the energy sector. We should be leading with public banking. These are things that are on American people's minds. And we're not leading with that. We're following behind whatever liberals and fucking Democrats are talking about. So that's what I think leftists should be doing. And to close that out there, I'm going to segue into this Elon Musk story now. Y'all saw I had to do a little closeout for post. You feel me? I made that when I post that clip, boy, that shit gonna look fire, boy. But we gonna go ahead and move into the next story. Give me 1 second to get it queued up. Boom, 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 boom. Share screen, Chrome. All right, let's get into this Elon. So the reason why I want to talk about this article is because now this is going to be me calling out the right's bullshit, and specifically the Republican conservative bullshit. So you saw all these conservatives, politicians, talking heads, basically fondling Elon Musk's balls. Like Elon Musk, like it was a very satisfied man when it came out that he was going to be that he basically bought Twitter. I believe it's now going through the process of being finalized. I think it takes like 6 months or something like that. I find this interesting. Elon Musk's Tesla is paying for employees to get abortions out of state as the Supreme Court looks likely to overturn Roe v. Wade. And this is just what it's going to be. This is all the people are going to go out of state. Like you can't stop people from crossing state lines to get an abortion. I know I hear some people talking about, now all of a sudden I hear all this talk on Twitter and things like that. Now people care about, this is and going back again, now people care about bodily autonomy. Now people care about, who's looking at my health data. Now people care about this shit. Now you care about this shit. Because when you cross state lines now, that's the thing that's going around on Twitter and online and TikTok and all these other websites that, the government can, track you. So basically they're saying if a woman goes out of state to get an abortion, which are not, they can track you and things like that. And when you get back, since abortion will be legal in certain states, they can basically, see that you got some type of procedure done with your medical history and shit like that. This is why we told you, dumb fucks, you don't want no fucking vaccine mandate, because this is the type of dystopian shit they're going to do. But when they were cracking down on Trump supporters, it's okay. When they were going after the anti-vaxxers, it was okay. So this is what we try to tell you, dumb fucks. You're fucking scared of air. Regardless, though, that's the thing that people are scared of, the tracking stuff. But I don't think they're going. I think this is a virtue signaling kind of tangible thing for people to have, basically the whole state rights thing, because it's not going to be like banned in America. This law is basically allowing states to determine whether they want abortion to be legal or not. That's all this is. And I also hear people talking about, they can go back and possibly overturn the gay marriage ruling and the interracial marriage ruling, and I've even heard some people talk about civil rights. Legally, I don't know. I'm just going to say I don't know. I'm actually researching it now. That seems implausible to me. It seems like they can't actually do that. But a lot of people said they couldn't do it with Roe v. Wade. So who knows? Who fucking knows? But the context of this conversation, the reason why I'm bringing up the crossing out of state lines, we're talking about Now it's okay to cross state lines. Now y'all are worried about state lines. Now you guys know what state lines are. Exactly. I'm gonna show this. Abortion, like all culture war, is BS. I guess it has a little more substance than some other. Exactly. But it's actually something tangible that they can give the conservatives as well. It's something tangible. They can say, here, look at this thing we did. Look, we banned it. Good. But it's like, again, you can't stop people from crossing state lines or getting an abortion, as Elon Musk is showing here. And now, again, they could possibly track your data, and when you come back, be like, hey, did you get an abortion? Like, we saw XYZ procedure here. Possibly, but again, this is what we were trying to tell you, dumb fucks, when it came to the mandates bullshit. Where you have to show your medical information. So now I'm crazy. I like it went from something as little as showing your medical information to sit down and have a burger. You see how that happens? It goes from having to show your medical information to eat a fucking burger, now going to showing your medical information to see if you had a fucking abortion. You see how a slippery fucking slope it is? You see how slippery that is? That's what we kept trying to tell you. But no, we hate Trump, anti-vax, huh? Fucking morons, man. I swear to God, fucking morons. Jesus Christ. And I'm saying this yo, bro, real quick sidebar. As a fat guy, as a fat fuck, I agree in fat shaming. I'm 100% in favor of fat shaming. When I say that, I'm not saying walk up to a random fat person like, ha ha, you fat fuck. I'm not saying that, because if he punches you in the face, you deserve it. You have the freedom to say what you want, but you don't have the freedom to control that person's reaction. Let's say that. You can't control that person's reaction to what you fucking say. I just had to put that disclaimer out there for the dum-dums out there, because clearly there's some fucking morons out there that don't understand the basic how power escalates, how dystopian tyranny escalates. So it's a lot of dum-dums out there. They don't understand how power works. So understand that. But I'm for fat shaming. This is me political shaming, I guess, or liberal, whatever. I'm shaming you guys to show you your idiocracy, to show you how dumb you look now with the egg on your fucking face. Because again, now bodily autonomy matters. And I don't necessarily, I just know I haven't gotten vaccinated. I don't plan on getting a vaccine. If you got the vaccine, cool for you. Good. My point is, I don't think I should have to show my vaccination status, my personal medical information to get a fucking burger or a beer. That's all I'm saying. But then again, I drink at home. All jokes aside, though, that's all I'm saying, though. But getting back to this article, this is going to be interesting. Elon Musk's Tesla is paying for employees to get abortions out of state as the Supreme Court looks likely to overturn Roe v. Wade. Tesla began covering costs for its employees to receive out-of-state abortions in 2021. The policy came as states like Texas, where Tesla is now based, passed tighter abortion restrictions. It puts Elon Musk at odds with his conservative fans as the Supreme Court looks likely to overturn Roe v. Wade. And it's going to be so interesting because Senator Marco Rubio is going to make a point that I'm going to say right now. So when I read it, you're going to be like, wow. People are hypocritical when it comes to this stuff. Liberals are perfectly okay with corporate tyranny when it comes to censoring people, on Twitter for views and beliefs. Now, are some of these guys on here online assholes? Yes. But guess what? It's fucking internet. Somebody called me a fat N-word on Odyssey, and I laughed about it. It's funny. I like the internet. The internet's funny. It's the internet. Deal with it. Stop being a pussy. but liberals are hypocritical because they love like govern me, corporate daddy. They love it when they're enforcing censorship on people that don't like, that disrespect marginalized communities, when it's literally anybody that just has a different perspective and could even be genuinely asking questions, that type of stuff. They like to censor people they call anti-vaxxers, people pointing out, hey, like Pfizer's doing some shady fucking shit. Like they're trying to hide the process on how they made the vaccine. They're trying to like keep people away from that for 50 years. Maybe we should look at that because Big Pharma, the left is supposed to hate Big Pharma. Maybe we should look at that. No, corporate daddy, censor him. And now I feel like now, conservatives and libertarian type, well, libertarians are pro corporation, but conservatives, like especially the Trump people, like one of their things is that, oh, Trump is sticking it to these corporations, but certain corporations ones that they think are liberal, that they think are Marxist, as you're about to see. Uncle Rubio saying this article, he's a fucking moron. But when it came to Elon Musk buying Twitter and he was going to basically, bring Trump on and all this bullshit, it's like, you see how shallow Americans are? They want Elon Musk they're happy about him reinstating Twitter so a fucking oligarch war criminal can come back that almost got us into a war with Iran, so he could come back. Not a fucking peep about Julian Assange from any of these motherfuckers, though. When it actually comes to free speech, not a fucking word about it, by the way. But you see the hypocrisy on both sides, and now you see them they were cockstroking Elon Musk. Now I think a lot of them are going to be mad at him as well, because they're going to see like Elon Musk has no political affiliations. The only affiliation Elon Musk has is to his wealth that was garnered for him by the government. And what I mean by that is the government by subsidies for his fucking company that we know about. He was made by the government. Point blank, period. But regardless, continuing. Tesla, the electric vehicle company owned by billionaire, soon-to-be Twitter owner Elon Musk, is paying for employees to get out-of-state abortions. According to the company's 2021 impact report, Tesla began providing an expanded safety net program and health insurance offering last year, which includes travel and lodging support for those who may need to seek healthcare services that are unavailable in their home state, i.e. abortion. And it could be other procedures as well, but still. That came after the company relocated to Texas, where abortion was outlawed after the 6-week mark in August 2021. That policy places Tesla among a growing list of companies that are helping employees access abortion care in the wake of new restrictions passed at the state level, as well as fresh concerns that Roe v. Wade would be overturned next month following the unprecedented leak of a draft opinion doing just that. And it puts Elon Musk, who's otherwise become a hero among conservatives following his purchase of Twitter last month, at odds with some of his cheerleaders. It's so funny. Like it's, you see how easy Americans are swayed. Like we talk about how did people now? I don't think these people are as bad as people say they were, but how could people follow with Stalin? How could people follow with Mao? Oh my God. But I love me some Elon Musk. You like, it's cult of personality. That's how. And again, I don't think Stalin and Mao and all of these other socialist communist leaders, they like to say, I don't think they were like as bad as people make them out to be. We actually have we have evidence from the government them fucking selves that they made up a lot of the bullshit that we learned about them in school. And that a lot of the academia repeats. But regardless, or even let's use an actual evil figure like Hitler. Let's use an actual evil figure like him. How could somebody have fell for him? Oh my God. You see it happening right here. Because as soon as they say something you kind of like, you hop on that shit like a bitch in Eden. I think that was a saying from Law Abiding Citizen. He said that to the judge in that movie. That's a great movie, by the way. That's a great movie. It's one of those like kind of B-list movies that are actually pretty fucking good. Because that was a B-list movie. I don't care what nobody says. I love Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, by the way, who's apparently stumped out Dave Chappelle's attacker. But still, if you haven't seen Law Abiding Citizen, I recommend checking it out. That's where that saying came from, though. But again, all you got to do, like, bro, Americans are easy. Americans are white women. They're easy. I'm sorry. It was a joke. I'm sorry. But yeah, regardless, Americans are easy. Really easy. You just got to rub the nipples a little bit and they're ready to go. Um, Chief among them is Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, who introduced a bill this week to prevent companies from making tax deductions for employees' abortion-related travel costs or for gender-affirming care for minors. Too often, our corporations find loopholes to subsidize the murder of unborn babies or horrific medical treatments on kids, said Rubio in a statement touting the bill. My bill would make sure this does not happen. How about you make a bill to, like, I don't know, feed a lot of the hungry children in America? How about, can we do that? Guess not. Though Tesla's impact report makes no mention of minors, the company does tout the fact that it has provided transgender. And by the way, I'd be willing to bet money, and let me know if I'm wrong on this. I'd be willing to bet money that there's more hungry children in America than there are children whose parents are forcing them to get like transgender surgery or whatever. I'm willing to bet money on that. There's more hungry children in America than there are children whose parents are forcing them to get transgender surgeries. I'm just willing to bet that. But again, this is Marco Rubio doubling down. This is Marco Rubio doubling down on the fucking culture war bullshit. But now we're about to get into the part that I was saying earlier that I think I kind of gave it away. Though Tesla's impact report makes no mention of minors, the company does tout the fact that it has provided transgender benefits aligned with the clinical protocols set by the Fourth World Professional Association for Transgender Health since 2018. Rubio's bill is part of a long-standing crusade by the one-time 2016 presidential candidate against what he sees as collusion. You ready for it? Between big business and Marxism. Corporate leaders are the product of decades of anti-American indoctrination at our elite universities, and they feel no obligation to America or its national interest. He's right there. He's right there. Not going to disagree with him there. However, this is where I'm going to disagree with him at. I'm not here to tell you big business. And you see how big business is big business is the fucking enemy. Big business has squandered our resources. Big business has poisoned our lakes and rivers, our drinking water. Yes, they are the enemy. I'm not here to tell you big business is the enemy, but I'm here to tell you big business is not our ally in the fight against socialism. Bro. Oh my God, bro. How many wars have been waged to benefit corporations? Like literally the war in Ukraine right now is being waged to benefit the weapons manufacturing companies that Marco Rubio is all in favor for. You see the fucking hypocrisy? You see the fucking bullshit? You see how they gaslight Americans, and Americans like, I pray to God. If you're conservative, I pray to God. Even if you hate Marxism, you think Mao, Stalin are the living embodiments of Satan, you think Xi Jinping is the fucking Antichrist, I hope to God you're not buying this. I really hope to God you're not buying it. If you are, there's no 2 cents about it. And I'm not for calling Americans names, but like I'm all for calling Americans names. If you're falling for this, you're a dumbass. I'm sorry. You're a fucking moron. You lack brain cells. You weren't aborted, but you were dropped onto your head when you were born. And if you believe this, if you're buying this at all, this is fucking insane, bro. This is fucking insane. Oh my God, this is insane. But Rubio has also showed cautious optimism for Musk's recent purchase of Twitter, which he said had caused a meltdown among the far left. He's calling, and again, this is what they do. They call liberals far left. There's somebody I follow on Twitter as well. I like him a lot. I love his show. It's JOA. Love his show. Like liberals are not leftist. I don't know how to explain this to you. Like liberals are slightly to the left of you, yes, but liberals are not leftist. They're right wingers right along there with you, bud. And again, I'm not here to shit on the right. Have your fucking beliefs. I don't care about you having your beliefs, but it's like I like to live in this thing called a reality where words mean things. And like when you say liberals are leftist, it doesn't make sense when you look at the history of neoliberalism itself. But when you see how most liberals vote economically, they vote conservative. That's why they vote for people like Biden, because Biden is economically conservative, kind of, but not really socially liberal. I don't get how this is hard. It literally, you have fucking Google. Look it up. I don't get how people like It's infuriating. Again, like as somebody who leans left and leans more towards leftism, it's infuriating to see people say this. It really is, because it's like liberals are not leftists. They're fucking right wingers. In some instances, sometimes they're further right than fucking right wingers. Like Joe Biden is further right than Donald Trump. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I've done videos about this. Like I've had debates with people and laid my points out, and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense," but nah. Like Joe Biden is further right than Donald Trump, far right winger. But America's brain has been so scrambled by the Cold War propaganda and even the post-Cold War propaganda. The world is basically, time has stopped. Time is over because we're now the unipolar world. Communism lost, blah, 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 all that bullshit. Like even the post-Cold War propaganda, scratching my back. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's fucking insanity. We live in a clown show. Because people, and I get it, especially with normal people, with normal everyday people, I get it. It's so easy to fall into the pick a team side. I was there. Even when I became more politically active, I bought into the AOC stuff. We need to hate these right wingers stuff. I felt the Trumps. I fell for that. I was at one point. I know I used to be a Trump supporter. I fell for it on both sides until I started educating myself more. I started reading the words of people that I have looked up to my whole, actually reading their words, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and even expanding my palette. I didn't learn about Fred Hampton until later because I wasn't taught about him in high school. Learning about Fred Hampton, learning about the Black Panthers, and then actually reading about communism, what communists actually stood for. It's reading. It's basic reading. So it's just insane to see people fall for this bullshit that Marco Rubio's doing right now. This is classic, actual like red baiting bullshit. It's insane. It's insanity. But Rubio melting down among the far left because they fear losing the power to threaten, silence, and destroy anyone who doesn't agree with them. They all do this, and this is what they all do this. It just so happens now you're getting the liberal strain of it. The meltdown over the Twitter purchase by Elon Musk is all because of far. Yeah, there we go. Rubio's office did not immediately respond to insiders' requests for comment. Some of the Florida senators' Republican colleagues were even more enthusiastic about Musk's purchase. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas called it the most important development for free speech. They're literally saying this while they're trying to prosecute a journalist, Julian Assange. They're trying to bring him all the way from the UK here to fucking America for publishing truths. And they have the fucking audacity to talk about free speech because a fucking billionaire bought Twitter. And again, you have people agreeing with him, knowing the Assange stuff, knowing it. But now because, and I get it, especially if you're an independent journalist, like one of the people, and I'll say this name, and I love her. I love Kim Iverson. Just when it came to the, gone. No nuance, just I hate liberals. Duh. So I'm going to go with this billionaire who's still going to censor. He's still going to censor, but it may not get me. So I'm all for it. Like retweeting his like bullshit statement. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? You're supposed to be an independent journalist. You're supposed to be presenting the news unbiasedly. That is your job. I'm a comment. Now, I guess Kim is a commentator. She could say she's a commentator. She probably is. And I agree with a lot of her commentary. I agree with Kim Iverson probably on 75% of what she says, 75 to 80% of what she says. Honestly, honest to God. But it's like, that was just like, wow. Oh, wow. What the fuck? And it's not like an egregious thing. It's just that, okay, I need to recognize that some of these people are sometimes going to fall into the pitfalls of their bias. And you have to be able to tell that. And again, this comes from Franco. If you have not been watching Franco's channel, bro, Franco has one of the most informative channels out there. I cannot tell you highly enough to go watch Frank Analysis. He has one of the most informative. I would consider him actual news, even though he does a lot of commentary. But the way he presents facts, all of them over there at MCSC, all of them, they do an amazing job. over there. They're actually independent journalists. They're independent. So, but yeah. But Kim, and I love Kim Iverson. This is not me shitting on Kim Iverson. I love her fucking show. I love the work she does. I love the fact that she sits on, she works at a corporate outlet. Let's be honest. She works at Rising, The Hill. It's a corporate outlet. Hang on. But yeah, so continuing with this article though. I call it the most important development. And again, as they're doing what they're doing to Assange, as they're allowing Israel to bomb Gaza and kill journalists there, as they're allowing Ukraine, they're funding Nazis in Ukraine. They're funding fascists in Ukraine because Nazis are fascists, and they're not neo-Nazis. They're straight up Nazis. They're leftovers from the their Banderites. They believe in Bandera ideology. Stepan Bandera was a fucking Nazi straight up. And you're allowing the Zelensky regime to silence journalists over there and intimidate journalists. So this is fucking horseshit. While Senator Mike Brand of Indiana lauded the purchase as a clear win for free speech in America, because there's nothing more American than there's nothing more American than a fucking billionaire buying free speech. God bless America. But while Musk's self-avowed commitment to free speech and seeming disdain for the progressive left has given hope to some conservatives, the tech billionaire's ideology may prove too libertarian for a party increasingly interested in using the power of the state to promote conservative values. And again, this is something we saw with DeSantis. I don't think I talked about it on the show, but DeSantis is going after Disney for talking about like the don't say gay bill or whatever. Like I said, I think I've said this on the show. I talked about it with High Media on here. Like the language in a don't say gay bill, I've read most of it. I didn't finish it, but like from what I read so far, like I understand why people feel the way they do. They hate DeSantis, but it's like it makes sense on everything in there makes sense. Like why are we talking to third graders about gender and shit? Like this should not be happening. I feel like this is just a freak out because people hate DeSantis. I don't like DeSantis either. I don't like him either. The only thing I agree with DeSantis on is his COVID policies. That's it. Other than that, garbage. But the way he's been wielding state power, he's been wielding his power is very concerning. Like the fact that he condemns when Black Lives Matter protest against police brutality, but then he applauds and doesn't apply the laws that he applied because of the Black Lives Matter protests and the riots as well. He doesn't apply that to when Cuban protesters literally shut down the streets in Florida. And even one of his other bills where he's talking about trying to make teachers register political beliefs and not like they have to take a survey and shit like that to make sure like they're not teaching the kids like Marxism. It wasn't Marxism specifically, but that's what it's about. Because you hear what the other fuckheads from the other fuckhead Mark Rubio from Florida is talking about. So a lot of this shit, and again, because it's Disney. Any other time I would be for him going after Disney. But it's the fact that he went after them because they said something he didn't like. That is concerning, as it should be. But again, that's a situation I'm not going to put myself in because it's Bonapartism. It's different factions of the elite going at each other. And when you recognize Caleb Maupin, I actually I sent the super chat to his show. I know I keep mentioning him a lot, but it's just so crazy how like for so long I've always like watched people like Jimmy and shit like Jimmy Dore and different people. Kyle Kalinske, I don't really watch him no more. He's trash. But the people that I've watched, you feel me, like have always like talked about politics in a way, but there wasn't really a lot of like ideology behind it, like a lot of or not ideology, theory, I guess. It's regular people talking. Like Jimmy talks like a regular person. But to hear Caleb, talk about his views, but use like references and sources and things like that. It's almost like a academic feel, but not really at the same time. He does a great job on the show. So, but he put me onto a couple books about Bonapartism, and from what I've been reading so far, like we're seeing it play out right now. And once I'll actually finish reading one of the books, and I might do like a review or something like that, because I've been wanting to do book reviews for a while. Back when I was doing the March for Medicare for All interviews, there was a guy that came on. His name was Chris Lickamelli. He was supposed to come back on so we could review the Communist Manifesto, but just we never got around to it. I actually haven't talked to him since then. I might reach back out to him and see if he wants to come on and like still do that review, have a conversation about the Communist Manifesto. I even saw Robert Durden. He was reading one of Michael Parenti's books that I'm actually thinking about buying to read. And once I finish reading it, I'll see if I can get him on. I love him too. I love his work as well. So, but yeah, this shit is insanity though. But while Musk's self-avowed, we just said that, the state to promote conservative values. Okay, in general, I believe government should rarely impose its will upon the people, wrote Musk in a tweet in September 2021. That said, I would prefer to stay out of politics. As he continues to shit on people's political beliefs he doesn't like, but you want to stay out of politics. Okay. So yeah, I just found that article interesting because you saw a lot of the conservatives basically slobbing Elon Musk. His cock was thoroughly slobbed last week, thoroughly, and I just found that interesting. You're seeing Bonapartism play out right before your eyes, folks. So let's see. I'm actually going to. I'm gonna take a short break before we get into the Caleb Maupin video. I might actually push this. I know I keep pushing stuff back. That might be, but the Caleb Maupin segment might be the last one that I do for tonight, and I might push the Zelensky back to tomorrow. Next Saturday is going to be a lot of Ukraine stuff though, because I have a lot of Ukraine stuff that I never got to. Like the Mariupol theater bombing, because I'm looking through it now. The Greek workers, rubles for gas. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a lot of Ukraine stuff next Saturday. So look out for that. Catching all up on the stories that I haven't been able to do. Well, yeah, so let me take a short 2 to 5 minute break and we'll close out with the last topic. All right, guys, I am back. And yeah, I'm ready to go ahead and get into the last segment. So let's get it. So we're going to try to watch a video today. I'm going to keep track of the video to make sure you guys can actually hear it this time. And we're going to watch this Caleb Maupin. Why did that not do what I wanted it to do? Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. So let me make sure the video plays. Because like I said, there's been problems with that. So let me make sure the video plays. Because like I said,
this is a kind of very prevalent. This is a kind of very prevalent.
All right, you guys can hear it. So Caleb Maupin did this amazing video, as you can see. It's called "The Four Forms of Satanism," and it's from a Marxist view. And the reason why I'm playing this is because I found it interesting in like the ideology. So so he covered the first two forms. I believe this is the third one, if I'm not mistaken. You have he called the first one the contrarian Satanism, like the constructive. He calls it constructive Satanism. He did the second one, which is basically teenage lashing out. I'm a Satanist. I wear a pentagram, painted black fingernails, all that nonsense. And then you have the third type, which is very like sinister if you really think about it, which we're going to get into and watch now. It's about it's a long video, so we're going to be here for a while talking about it, but I just want to break that watch and just give my thoughts and break down what he has to say here. So let's go ahead and get into it.
A very, very prevalent form of politics, and we need to get beyond that, right? I mean, it's a phase we all go through. You're not a bad person for feeling this way. I certainly felt this way a lot when I was a teenager, but it's not serious politics. So that's would be the second form of Satanism. We've gone over constructive Satanism. Now we just went over teenage Satanism, contrarian Satanism, adolescent Satanism. Constructive Satanism. The next type of Satanism that I would go over is probably the most literal form of Satanism. I mean, the Church of Satan, this is what they actually believe. And I mean, I will actually pull up Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. One of his most favorite writers who he recommends is Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, the anti-communist philosopher, the author of Atlas Shrugged, the author of The Fountainhead. This is the climax of the Atlas Shrugged book by Ayn Rand.
So Ayn Rand is one of those people that are like, she's read and liked a lot by libertarians, and I found this very interesting. This is a very interesting point he makes here.
Of the code of selflessness has made you fear the man who has $1 less than you because it makes you feel that your dollar is rightfully his. You hate the man with $1 more than you because the dollar he's keeping is rightfully yours. Your code.
And what's crazy is, y'all know I'm a big hip hop guy. I love hip hop, old and new. My favorite rapper is J. Cole. And speaking of J. Cole, which is why I brought him up, actually, now that I think about it, I'm dumb. J. Cole, I said it earlier, he had this line that said, "If you broke and clowning a billionaire, the joke is on you." And I've thought about that for a while, because it's very interesting given J. Cole's subject matter and somebody from the black community. He talks on a lot of black issues, like police brutality, poverty, a lot of the things that the black community faces. But you see, they still, because he's reached a certain class, they still like miss the point. And I don't think J. Cole's missing the point on purpose as like a Jay-Z is. I think Jay-Z is missing the point on purpose. I think they evoke the names of people like Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Martin Luther King, knowing what they were. They were not far left, but they were Marxist, communist, people that believed in that ideology. Martin Luther King was more of a social democrat, but still, regardless, you know, his teachings do not align with what Jay-Z not necessarily talks in his talks in his music now when he talks about, the financial freedom that he talks about, and the economic uplifting that he talks about with the black community, which is basically creating a new black elite class. So I found that interesting because, like, it makes sense. That makes sense. So let's continue with the video.
Road has made it impossible to know when to give and when to grab. You know that we can't give away everything and starve yourself. You're forced yourselves to live with undeserved, irrational guilt. Is it ever proper to help another man? No. If he demands it as his right or as his duty, then that you owe him. Yes, it's your own free choice based on judgment of the person and his struggle. This country wasn't built by men who sought handouts. And its brilliant youth, this country showed the rest of the world.
This country was built by people like me off of free labor. And the back of the Native Americans, and then later the Asians. So that's the point that he's pointing out. This is bullshit.
What greatness was to the man and what happiness is possible on earth. But then it began apologizing for its greatness and giving away its wealth and feeling guilty for having produced more than its neighbors. I swear by my life and my love that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for the sake of mine. Selfishness as a virtue. Your world is only the product of sacrifices. While you were dragging the men who made your happiness possible to your sacrificial altars, I beat you to it. I reached them first and told them about the game you were playing. You read the John Galt speech from Atlas Shrugged. This is a rejection of morality. It's saying don't love your neighbor. It's saying don't be kind to others. It's saying don't be selfless. Don't help other people. And this is evil. It's very, very evil. It's very, very evil. You listen to Ayn Rand, you read The Fountainhead, you read Atlas Shrugged. This is evil stuff. It's saying that one should not have empathy. One should be purely self-interested. One should not help their fellow man. And that shit is dangerous. I don't know how else to put it. And it's the ideology of capitalism. Ayn Rand called capitalism the unknown ideal. The unknown ideal. The idea was capitalism had never been enacted because we have a post office, because we have government subsidized railroads, we have a military. But capitalism is a society where...
And that's such a fucking dumb idea. Like, I've even heard people, like, I have friends of mine that tell me that, we have a mixed economy that leans more towards socialist and communist. It's fucking insane if you understand this. But he's gonna wrap around, like, it's so crazy how he brings this full circle to our leaders. It's amazing how he does this.
No one helps anyone else. Capitalism is a society where the government completely keeps its hands off. Capitalism is a society where greed is unrestrained. Ayn Rand wrote about the virtue of selfishness. The idea that people should never have empathy for other people, that the problems of the world are rooted in altruism, that man's empathy for other men, men's sympathy for other people, men's desire to do unto others as they would have them do unto them is the problem. Kindness, compassion are weaknesses. Greed, self-indulgence, cruelty, indifference to others is morality. This kind of anti-moral teaching that says your attitude should be screw everybody else, I'm in it only for myself. That stuff is Satanism. I don't know what you want to call it. You want to call it political Satanism. You want to call it, it's pure doctrinaire Satanism. It's what Anton LaVey actually believed. It's capitalism. It's ideological capitalism. It is anti-moralism, straight up anti-moralism. It's dangerous and it's problematic. And it's what most of the elite in the United States believe. Now, Ayn Rand, she wrote those novels. Ayn Rand is for the masses. Ayn Rand is for business school majors. Ayn Rand is for edgy teenagers. Ayn Rand is for, for guys who listen to right-wing radio. Well, they have a more sophisticated version of Ayn Rand for the educated classes. For the educated classes, they've got Friedrich Nietzsche. And Friedrich Nietzsche, his view, is a little bit more sophisticated. Friedrich Nietzsche, in his book Beyond Good and Evil, argues that the Christian teaching, the last shall be first and the first shall be last, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is the slave morality. It's the slave morality. It's the ideology of weak people invented to give them consolation. But the master morality is one that worships strength. And he talks about the Roman Empire, and he talks about ancient Greeks, and he talks about a society where people are purely living for pleasure and, and not empathetic to others, and, fulfilling their great strength by beating down others. And he argues that Christianity is just something invented by the oppressed, invented by the weak to give themselves consolation. But really, we need to go back to
and I do, and even as he said that, now that's a point that I have a more nuanced view with, because I'm a person, I'm agnostic. I don't believe in Christianity, Islam, none of those. I think there's good virtues in those things. I think there's good ideas in those things. But again, when it comes back, I'll tie this into what I said earlier. Like my perspective looking at this is, when I look at some of the teachings in the Bible, outside from all the lunacy that's in the Bible, but there are virtues in there that goes hand in hand with Marxism and communism and that ideology. And there's no surprise that some of the most religious countries out there, the most socially conservative due to their religions, are Marxist and communist, like Nicaragua. Nicaragua has some of the most, have some of the most strictest abortion laws out there. Like I'm pretty sure they're anti-abortion. You got Russia, even though the Soviet Union, under Lenin, they legalized abortion. They were the first country to legalize it. Stalin banned it. I think he makes that point in this video too, but that was something I researched on my own. Stalin banned it. And when you look at Russia today, it's very conservative. You have there are a lot of them are in the Christian Orthodox Church. So there you have that.
Might makes right. We need to go back to hedonism. We need to go back to greed is good. We need to go back to this kind of thinking. Now, this is a more sophisticated version of the Ayn Rand way of thinking. And both of these philosophies, the Nietzsche philosophy, as well as the Ayn Rand philosophy, view the people as the enemy, right? John Galt's speech is all about how the great men are persecuted. The reason that the rich are rich is they're just so much better than everybody else. They're so much better than everybody else, and the other people are just trying to bring down the superior ones. And Friedrich Nietzsche has a similar mindset. In fact, Friedrich Nietzsche hated the Paris Commune of 1871. A lot of his writing in his final years was dedicated to tearing down the Paris Commune, accusing the Paris Commune of 1871 of being an evil thing because it was the rabble rising up. And on top of Ayn Rand, Friedrich Nietzsche, you have Leo Strauss, the ideological father of neoconservatism. Leo Strauss was a philosophy professor. He wrote Persecution and the Art of Writing. And Leo Strauss, he had lived in Germany, and he fled Germany, moved to the United States. He taught at the New School University, eventually moving to the University of Chicago. And Leo Strauss, he argued that all of the great philosophers throughout history, Plato, Socrates, Kant, Descartes, they all wrote in code. And the reason they wrote in code was because they were persecuted. Because if they said what they really believed, the rabble would punish them. The average people who weren't as smart as they were, who couldn't understand the world with their superior rational mind, would punish them. So they had to write in code. And that if you read Plato, if you read Kant, if you read Descartes, there's two ways of reading it. There's the way the masses would read it, and then there's the coded way that the educated elite could read it. And of course, Leo Strauss, he knows the sophisticated way. If you listen to him, he'll tell you what the texts really mean.
And Caleb's going to get to that, but what does that sound like? Sounds like the board, the board. I think it's called the board of misinformation that Biden just created, the Ministry of Truth, and now he has this chick as like the czar of misinformation. Basically, that's what that sounds like. The elites interpreting the information for us, the plebs, the bottom feeders. So I just thought this video was amazing because it really connects to what's going on right now.
Many critics of Leo Strauss have looked at Leo Strauss's writing and said, how do you know? How do you know that that's what Socrates and Plato really meant? How do you know that? How do you know what Descartes really meant? How do you know that? Who told you? Who gave you the decoding machine with which to read philosophy? It's kind of one of those things you just kind of have to believe him. But underlying Leo Strauss's strange interpretation of philosophers throughout history, there is the belief that the intellectuals, the great ones, have always lived in fear of the rabble. Just like Ayn Rand talks about the mob and coming after John Galt. Just like Nietzsche is talking about how much he hates the Paris Commune. Central in the worldview of doctrinaire, moral, philosophical Satanism is this belief that there are the chosen ones, there are the great ones who sit at the center, the elite, and the elite must be protected at all costs from the rabble. And this is essential to their worldview. There are all these people out there that are challenging the power of the elite. And if they get together, it's got to be stopped.
And again, this is, and he's going to get to it, but I know I keep stopping the video, guys, but I like giving my thoughts on this, as I hear something that strikes me. But this sounds exactly like what's going on now, but what has always been what's going on. While this is what he's described, this is why they fear the people organizing across class lines. This is why they have always feared ideologies like communism, anything that goes against the approved ideology of the elites. This is why.
Leo Strauss argued that what we need is propaganda.
1 second, guys. I'm sorry about that. Hang on, I'm getting a call. Sorry about that, guys. Got a phone call, but I'm back. Continuing with the video.
Propaganda. With propaganda, we can control the masses. Leo Strauss said that his favorite TV show was Gunsmoke, the cowboy TV show, where the good guy wears a white hat and is all good, not a single negative attribute. The bad guy wears a black hat and is all bad, not a single redeeming quality. The good guy always wins, the bad guy always loses. And
again, you're seeing this is what's playing out in Russia right now. Russia's bad. This is what they do. Everybody who disagrees with what America wants is a fucking commie, but now they've hybridized that to make them anti-freedom and democracy. You know, they're not democracies and shit like that, and they're dictators. They kill their own people. Gaddafi's giving his soldiers Viagra to go rape women, incubator babies, weapons of mass, all of it. Uyghur genocide, all of it. All of it. This is amazing. This is amazing to see.
Leo Strauss told his students, many of whom became neoconservative politicians, served in the Reagan administration and the Bush administration, that this is how average Americans should be cultivated to understand politics. We need dumbed down, stupid propaganda for the masses. Make the masses brainwashed and controlled so they don't get together and trouble the elite. And that politics is about protecting the freedom of the elite from the persecution of the rabble.
And that is how they're operating with every fucking issue we will ever talk about in politics.
That is the belief that is at the center of neoconservatism. And oddly, that is also at the center of what you can call the synthetic left. In the 1950s, the CIA launched a program called the Congress for Cultural Freedom. And the Congress for Cultural Freedom program was all about funneling money to intellectuals who were left-wing and had a left-wing critique of U.S. society, but were anti-communist. And Susan Sontag and Hannah Arendt and Mary McCarthy and Herbert Marcuse, these individuals were subsidized as part of this program. And one of the main things that they did was reinterpret what fascism is. Now, the scientific Marxist understanding of fascism is rooted in the breakdown of capitalism. When the capitalist system enters a crisis, the capitalists fight with each other. One section of the capitalists seizes power and uses heavy-handed state measures and mobilizes the population to drive down living standards in an attempt to stabilize and end the capitalist crisis. Hitler did that. Mussolini did that. That's what it is. It's a form of capitalism in decay. I believe Lenin is widely quoted as saying, fascism is capitalism in decay. R. Palm Dutt, the Marxist and leader of the British Communist Party, wrote a great book, Fascism and Social Revolution. But Hannah Arendt and Susan Sontag, they had a very different definition of fascism. If you read Fascinating Fascism by Susan Sontag, the essay that she wrote for the New York Times Review of Books, if you read Eichmann in Jerusalem by Hannah Arendt, suddenly fascism is not the problem of capitalism in decay. It is not a Bonapartist maneuver. It is not liberal Western capitalist societies.
There goes that word again, Bonapartist.
Collapsing into illiberalism amid an economic and political crisis. No, fascism is when the rabble get together. Fascism is when the inferior ones get together and start persecuting the great intellectuals.
And you saw that play out perfectly with the Canadian trucker. Dog, they fucking got Richard Wolff out of here. They love Richard Wolff, all of them. Sam Cedar, all of the shit lips and neo progressives. TYT, the Sam Cedar crowd, the surf people, all the motherfuckers. All of them. Started coming at Richard Wolff for standing by the truckers because he recognized it as a worker uprising. We need to be going out and interacting and engaging with these workers. And you saw people like Brian Becker go right along with it. Along Breakthrough News, that's their name, and Breakthrough News as well. Rania, Eugene, all of them, and famously Ben Norton as well, all of them. And it's not surprising to see Ben Norton galvanizing everybody as well. And I love Ben Norton's work, but Ben Norton is shitty on COVID. He's right now being shitty when it comes to Roe v. Wade because he's leading people astray. He's leading them to tailism. And you're starting to these people don't understand. These are leftists that don't understand power, that truly don't understand power and how the ruling class is wielding their power right now. They truly don't see it and don't understand it. And it's sad to see because these people do such great work, but all that great work, in my opinion, goes to waste when you miss the overall point. And look, I'm a nigga doing a show in my basement. You feel me? I'm not going to Cuba like Ronnie Akalik is, showing the miracles of the Cuban healthcare system. I'm not Ronnie Akalik living in Lebanon and reporting. She does amazing work. Eugene there does amazing work as well. Ben Norton has done amazing work, but you're missing the picture still. You're missing the big fucking picture.
And communism, according to Susan Sontag, is just the most successful form of fascism. It's fascism with a human face, according to Susan Sontag. Fascism with a human face. Communism is nothing but the most successful form of fascism. And Saddam Hussein is a fascist. And Gaddafi is a fascist. And Fidel Castro is a fascist. And the West is great. Because with our liberal democratic system, we protect the intellectuals from the mob. This is the neoconservative.
And these are talking points you hear from both the left and the right. Now, when it comes to the woke mob attacking people, you definitely see that with when they attack like more conservative people or even people that are apolitical or whatever, like Jordan Peterson and all that. You see that. But then they turn around. Anybody that has any legit criticism of Jordan Peterson, you'll see talking heads either ignore it or just chalk these people up as woke lefties. Huh? I'm criticizing Jordan Peterson for his bullshit interpretation of materialism. I'm critiquing Jordan Peterson for his childish view of communism, his very childish, almost McCarthyist view of communism. Like, we're going to compare body counts, but we're not going to talk about the context of these things. So you see it on both sides, and it's dumbfounding to see. It really is.
Conservative view. This is the view of Leo Strauss. This is the view of Ayn Rand. This is the view of Nietzsche. And this is doctrinaire Satanism. It is anti-populism. At its core, it believes human beings are evil. Human beings are the problem. And it is a viewpoint that is fundamentally anti-human. Human beings are not animals. Let me repeat that. Human beings are not animals. This is something that is basically acknowledged in a very important essay by Frederick Engels called The Role of Labor in the Transition from Ape to Man. And you go and read it. It's a great essay by Frederick Engels about what makes humans different than any other species, right? What makes them different? Is it that humans have a civilization? Well, an ant farm is a civilization, right? Is it that, human beings use tools? Well, you can see different animals using tools. That happens, right? Is it that that we have a language, we have a spoken language. Well, some people argue that some of the way animals communicate, they have a little bit of a language. It's not exactly a fully developed language. So what separates human beings from animals? The fundamental distinction between human beings and animals is that animals only interact with their environment. Humans make the environment serve them. They master the environment. And this is the fundamental difference. This is what Frederick Engels says. All other species only interact with their environment, but humans force the environment to serve them. They master the environment. And they constantly reinvent the way they interact with the environment. Ants have been building their ant farms the same way for thousands of years. Beavers have been building their beaver dams the same way for thousands of years. But in just 7,000 or 8,000 years, human beings have gone from hunter-gatherers in the woods to space travel and iPhones. There is something unique about mankind. Human beings have been endowed by their creator with some kind of special ability that makes them separate from other species. And philosophical, doctrinaire, ideological Satanism doesn't see it that way. Anton LaVey says, man is just another animal, sometimes better, but often worse than those that crawl on all fours. That's actually a literal quote. A literal quote from Anton LaVey, the Church of Satan founder, who recommends Ayn Rand. They see the world as a world of greed is good, might is right, selfishness. They see the law of the jungle as ideal. They see compassion as weakness. They see people working together in groups as dangerous and totalitarian. And this is classical doctrinaire Satanism.
And again, now he does have hints of some religious stuff in there, but it's not really, because like I said, it's the Church of Satanism. He's telling you what Satanism is. But the point that he's making is these are how, regardless of whether it's a conservative or a fucking liberal, Democrat or Republican politician, those in power, billionaires, this is how they view us. And I think this ties back perfectly. And I think I'll stop the video here because I have been playing it for a while. And because he made the point there, honestly, for real. Honestly. But the point is, this is how they view us. But not only is this how they view us, they fear us getting together in groups and coalescing and forming and organizing to fight back against their power, the fight back against the power and repression that they wield against us. They fear it. They're so fucking afraid of it. So I think Caleb just did a good job there breaking that down. But this, again, it falls right in line with whether it's Kamala Harris or whether it's Mike Pence, whoever these fucking asshats are. It doesn't matter. Obama, Trump. This is how they view you. So I will say, you see how they view you and you see how they feel about you. Move accordingly. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Robert Kiyosaki, all of them. This is how they view you. Move accordingly. They say this during strikes. Don't cross that picket line. Know your class. Know where you are on that totem pole. How and the totem pole they created and how they view you, and move fucking accordingly. And this is the point that I try to talk on this channel all the fucking time. Do not cross that picket line. Do not shit on your working class brother or sister just because they may have a different view than you. And there are people, I understand, there are people that have objectionable views out there. I'm sure. But you have to understand that they're trying to divide us right now because they know there's so many people waking up to this shit that are woke. I'm going to use that term, that are woke. I'm using it in the correct, proper manner. There are so many people that are fucking woke out there. They peep the bullshit. They see the bullshit, and they have this feeling and urge to do something about it. And that's why they're deploying these fucking these minions out there. You know, you see people fall into the Sam Cedar trap. You see people fall into like the Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, that trap. You see people falling into it wherever they on whatever ideology they lie. And then I think you have, you know, some people like that are right over the target. People like Jimmy Dore. And that's not me shitting on Jimmy Dore, like that are right there. That are right there. Kim Iverson, that are right there. People like Ron Paul, right there. You're right there, bro. You're right there. And it's like, yo, they fear that shit. The Canada Trucker they are afraid of that shit. That's why they went so hard on it. And this is the mindset we need to be adopting and understanding this. Billionaires do not cross their class. They have the strongest form of class solidarity in the fucking world right now. And why do I say that? Because them niggas is winning right now. But we have the element of knowing what's going on. We see it. People see it. People fucking see it. But we keep falling into the same traps that our grandparents fell into, that our parents fell into. And we can't do that, especially now. It's too late in the game to do that. Too late in the game to be doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, man. That was a dope video. I thought it was a dope video. I'll link it down below. Let me send it in the chat. I just thought that video was really dope and how he broke that down, honestly. Because again, that's how they view us. And I read those resources. I went online and bought all those, you know, all of the resource, the sources and books he was talking about. I bought a couple of them. I still, you know, your boy's still a worker, so it's gonna take me a while to buy more of them or to buy all of them. But I'll be trying to get it for the low. You feel me? But they even have shit online that you can read. Educate yourself, game yourself up, bro. That's all I can tell you, man. Game yourself up. You see how them niggas is moving, the billionaires is moving, and all them niggas, the politicians, all the elite class. You see them doing it in the EU now. They're banning the Russian oil, knowing it's going to fuck over their citizenry. See how they move and move accordingly, and don't cross that fucking picket line, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that out there, man. Y'all, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being on the stream with you. A couple people commented. I hope I pronounced this right. Mitra. Yes. That's good, man. That's good. See, I've been thinking about joining. I don't know, because I'm more of a lone wolf type of guy. You know, I show love to people that I fuck with. I show love to them, but I'd rather do my own thing. Like Caleb even talked about this himself. He's doing his own thing, so I'm doing my own thing. But I show love because I think he's somebody that's speaking truth to power right now. I think there's a lot of people out there doing that. Like I said, Jimmy, even people that I've criticized on the show so far, Jimmy Dore, JOA, Kim Iverson, Frank Analysis, Convo Couch, Nico House. They're all doing great work, man. They're all doing great work, bro. Max Blumenthal, Gray Zone, all doing great work, man. Danny Haifong. These are all people I want to have on my show eventually. Hopefully they'll be on here one day when I get some more clout, I guess. But Jackson Hinkle, Haas from Infrared, Samira Khan, all these are great people. I don't know if Samira has like a YouTube channel. She's amazing. And she has some views I disagree with. But you can disagree with somebody, and where you agree on shit, that's where y'all work together. But even as these are still people. People you disagree with are still people. Yeah, I'm antisocial, dog. I'm antisocial too, bro. Trust me, I'm antisocial too. But what you got to understand is we got to move past that. You feel me? Like right now, we don't have the time right now, bro. And look, I'm a worker. I see this shit every fucking, I see this shit every day, bro. And it's not nothing crazy, but I just see Americans are sick of it. And some of them are peeping what's around them and seeing, that's weird. I feel like the Epstein and Trump shit really woke motherfuckers up, bro. That woke a lot of people up, bro. Because the Epstein shit was some straight up shit. People, that's some Alex Jones conspiracy theory. Now shit turned out to be true. presidents, princes. Exactly. But all these people involved in this pedophile ring and shit turned out to be true. Nobody thought Trump was going to win this fucking election. This motherfucker, people don't realize this. Trump took out the fucking Clinton family and the Bush family in one fell swoop, bro. Destroyed them. Publicly embarrassed and humiliated. The only reason we talk about the Bushes now is because liberals have rehabbed the Bush reputation. That's the only reason why we still talk about them now, because liberals have taken them because they don't like Trump. That's why we still talk about the Bushes, and obviously the Clintons too. But regardless, their name is mud. Their name is mud now. So, but yeah, man, a lot of people are woke, man. A lot of people are seeing what's going on. Woke isn't always a bad term. Like I said, the origins of that word, it's been tarnished by white liberals. And has been dragged through the mud because of the culture war. But yeah, man, that's what I got for y'all today, bro. I feel like this is a good stream, man. Me just talking was a good stream. And these are just my ideas in my head, bro. Honestly, this is shit. Like, I think I should do more talking than like a structured show as well. Like, do the structured show, but do more talking as well. And just tell y'all how I feel about shit. Like, what I was talking to y'all about today is just how I feel about shit, honestly. So, and honestly, that's what the origins of the show was. I started this show because people, my friends, family members, they got tired of me hearing me talk politics all the time. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna talk about it on YouTube. Straight up. So I had the equipment to do it because, well, some of the equipment I actually, bought some newer equipment, as y'all guys saw. But like, I was doing another podcast and another channel, which I still do. Go check out the Filmatic. I talk about movies there. Also check out my other channel, New Wave Studios. But QAnon is so dangerous. Time we need to get involved. Great string, yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. So yeah, but regardless, I was doing other shows. Check out my channel, New Wave Studios. Too, I talk a lot of music there. But regardless, like I had the equipment to do it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna talk politics because I was passionate about it and had thoughts about it. So I started talking it, and boom, here we are now, bro. I've grown so much. Why? Go watch my first videos. I'm talking electoralism now. I barely talk electoralism on this show, unless I'm shitting on the hypocrisy of people. So, but guys, your boy has to go to bed because I have to get up and do this overtime tomorrow. And we're going to be going overtime with this American Autopsy stream. Tomorrow is going to be a long stream. Oh, yeah, I forgot. So the stream tomorrow is going to be later because I forgot. I get off literally at like 1 o'clock. So I'm going to try and do the stream at around, it's going to be late. I'm going to do it around 5 or 6 o'clock. Do it around 5 or 6 o'clock. 4 at the earliest, 7 at the latest. So look out for it then. You'll see the post and everything like that. So, and but yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for everybody that commented. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Stay safe out there. Peace. Be easy.